Hey guys, Tux here with another unboxing video. This time we're going to be unboxing the Colecovision Flashback system. And these systems, I think they're pretty great, to tell you the truth. And I am someone who collects, systems. So some people might be like, purists might be like, oh, these systems are bad and they're bad for the market and blah, blah, blah. And mind you, I still like collecting the original system. There's nothing as good as owning a real classic system, of which I own quite a few. But in this particular case, a lot of the ColecoVisions honestly have went bad. And the Atom computers are next to non-existent. So to be able to play these games is really, really tricky, and finding this stuff is super hard. So I'm really glad they brought this Colecovision Flashback. The only thing which I would say could be better would be on some of the flashbacks, like the Genesis Flashback, you can actually insert a real Genesis cartridge and play it on the system, in addition to all the included games, which I believe is like 60 or 80. In this Colecovision Flashback, it has 60 built-in games, and it has controllers which are inspired by the originals, so they look and feel pretty much like the real thing. In ColecoVision, when it first came out, the system itself was meant to be a kind of a competition for Atari. It was before NES, and the games were graphically superior to Intellivision or to Atari at the time. In fact, they had a lot of pretty good-looking arcade remakes, and in a lot of cases, they actually had rights to games like Donkey Kong, Nintendo's Donkey Kong, which actually looked great on ColecoVision, and in kind of a snafu, they also released it on Atari, but of course the Atari version was dumbed down with less levels. It only had 2 levels. So it was kind of slick marketing. They actually released cartridges for the competing systems, but made them, like, I don't know, a little less inspired, They had less stuff, and part of it was probably restrictions to the system. I mean, Atari did have less memory than ColecoVision, but the other part of it was probably that they wanted their system to really shine, So that would be like Sony releasing a Sony exclusive game like Gran Turismo on, Xbox One, but making it not look quite as good, to make people want to be like, ooh, I really wish I had that better version, And in the case of ColecoVision, it really worked, because a lot of people would buy the Coleco Donkey Kong, which was a very popular game back in the day, and then they would be less than satisfied with the Atari version, and they'd be like, shoot, I really should get that ColecoVision version because it looks so awesome, okay? By the way, back to the actual ColecoVision Flashback system. This is the box. Pretty big, maybe a little smaller than the original Coleco game. And you can see on the back here there's a whole bunch of games included. And this includes a lot of games which are popular back in the day, like Cosmic Avenger and Omega Race, Space Panic, Miner 249er, and it has a lot of games that were like never really available, at least like during the life cycle of ColecoVision in stores. Most people never seen Mrs. Space Fury, and some of these other sequels that were not actually available. Even things like Jungle Hunt, most people didn't actually buy for ColecoVision. They would have bought it for Atari 5200 or one of the other systems at the time. So it's pretty cool they actually have this flashback system with some of these games which weren't really readily available on ColecoVision, and most stores maybe didn't even stock. So the box itself, they put a lot of work into making it look nice and authentic, and you can see it actually does come with not only the controllers that look pretty original, it comes with the little inserts, which is really a nice touch, and 60 built-in games, including the top ones really for ColecoVision right here: Venture, Frenzy, Zaxxon, Space Panic, and this one here, I don't know what that is, to tell you the truth. So let's take a look inside the box. Okay, I'm doing this one-handed, so I want to apologize a little bit if the camera's a little shaky, but let's see what we got in here. So opening the box, you can see inside here we got a very small instruction manual, which is probably about the same size as the original ColecoVision instruction manual. It didn't really give you a whole lot. Black and white, pretty typical. We have some weird little thing which probably had the overlays, which I'm not seeing. We have the controller, which is right here, which actually, it looks pretty good. It feels pretty good. I mean, it had this weird little thing on the top, little joystick, 2 side buttons, which was pretty revolutionary for the time, and of course numbers, which worked really well. And a lot of systems actually were kind of doing this whole number thing at the time. Not only Television originally were doing it, but like Atari 2600 had this Star Raiders, controller thing. Other systems actually had numbers too, because they really wanted this to be kind of a mini computer, I think, at the time. So pretty good. Feels a little bit light, but actually looks quite authentic. Alright, taking a look at the power supply. Power supply is super teeny. Like, this is like nothing. Originally it did have a brick like you'd suspect. Very simple. The other controller, very nice. And the system. Oh, and there's my inserts. Wow, the system feels incredibly light. It feels like they could make this thing the size of like a wallet or something. There's like nothing to the weight of this. On the back, you got your hardwired power cord, it looks like, or actually, strike that, AV cords. And on the front, you have 2 spots for joysticks, which it's my impression that you cannot plug real Coleco joysticks into it, although they are the same 9-pin configuration. There's the hole for the power supply. And of course you got your buttons for reset and for power. And this looks pretty authentic. If this was a real ColecoVision, there'd be spots right here for the controllers to fit in, which was kind of a cool idea. Atari 5200 did the same thing back in the day, where you could actually put the controllers into the console as kind of a storage unit, if you will. It was kind of a trend, and Television did the same thing. And it seemed to kind of pass. New systems don't do that, of course, because the controllers are much more unusually shaped. But all in all, looks nice, small, fit in the shelf nice. But it is really lightweight. This could be like a fourth of the size or smaller. And here's the overlays. These are what came with the games at the time. These would actually fit into the controller, kind of to make like a custom controller for the games, which is really a nice touch. It really saved a lot of headache, and as far as, you know, looking at the book to see what does L1 do. Like, I mean, how many times have you bought a more modern game and you're like trying to figure out the controls at first? Most people don't sit there and read the manual and figure all the controls before they start playing Forza or something, you know. So you're trying to figure out, okay, this is the brake, this is the gas, you know. It takes a little while to figure exactly how it's configured. So these would just slide into the controller, and then you could go ahead and know exactly what the little buttons were. So very nice touch, and pretty cool they included some of them anyway. Let's take a look and see how that looks. 1 second. Okay, here's the controllers with some inserts added to them. Looks real nice, you can see. Oh, my cat's getting in the picture. My cat loves boxes, so this is probably a big temptation. Or maybe she just wants to play ColecoVision. I don't know. But anyway, check out the controllers, though. They do look nice, and this will definitely help playing some of these old games, since we don't really know what the controllers are going to do. So that is the deal with that. And that is pretty much everything in the box. The rest is just your normal, cardboard box. And so thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions about ColecoVision, let me know. Back in the day, I did own a real ColecoVision, so I might be able to help with some other weird questions. There's a lot of cool glitches in ColecoVision games. If you're playing Smurf, there's a way of making Smurfette's dress come off. There's all sorts of weird things in some of the games programmed. It's kind of like known programmer glitches. So anyway, if you have any questions, be sure and put them in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.